These are the best highlights from today's 2024 LCK Summer Split matchup.
She's a poor performance of it all overall as Carry is going in.
Oh, going in, and Hannah is, well, actually it was Raptor. He is going to be 100-0. First blood does go over to T1 just like that, but BNK are fighting back. Owner going to be taken out himself, and that is a trade of junglers.
Arm for Faker in the mid lane. And also that guarantees the second and third Grub go to Raptor. They're not Raptors, but...
Yeah, we have Raptors now. They used to be Wraiths. Times change.
The white. HT white. It was white. Or the Gromp it is now. Remember that?
Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
Wow. Guma's just going to be ulted, and he is going to throw an arrow in as well. Duro's going to get pretty low. Hannah just has to walk away.
Get a bigger clue on how much this really means. The individual stats of this will be relatively useful. It's not Grasp with 0 or anything like that. It's not going to be super tanky. It'll be straight to Hextech. So, I feel like we're headed to a Chemtech Soul just with how the LCK works.
Yeah, you're just kind of taking it for safety. As we've really slowed down. Feeling the deep lull state coming on. As I say that, though, Closer is in the bot lane getting some plays, and T1 do want to respond to this. Keria, he is going to go in with the Magnustorm and flash away. Here comes an arrow. That's also flashed from. So both supports very careful about how far they go.
That's as much action as they'll allow. As Lear.
He might be in a little bit of trouble. That one auto into the stun. Very good from Owner. Clear extremely low. Has to flash the Heartbreaker. We see a lot of Kennen, but it's almost always AP because your spacing basically has to be perfect. Your range isn't that long on the auto attacks, but obviously it's longer than the Renekton. Especially this matchup can be very difficult. By the way, it is Infernal Soul.
All right.
In this game.
Feeling great for T1 with a 2 Drake lead. And yeah, it's in Zeus' meta. And when you have a farming Kennen that's actually building AD, it's kind of a problem that he's getting all of this money, and there's just been no answer whatsoever. They gave the Dragon, but also failed to get the Herald. So turret for Flash Mist Hook. That's the cross map.
Yeah, it's a couple of components.
Like, literally T1 are playing tennis with BNK. Like, oh, you guys went for the Kennen? He has TP, by the way, and now we're doing the Herald that you guys didn't start earlier. And we have full control over the map. They have a teleport ward for this Kennen as well, so Zeus can just come in. We'll clear the said ward at least.
Yeah, the issue with AD Kennen is that those teleport flanks, kind of whatever. It's like, oh, well, we got our very fed Kennen there, that's good, but the flank itself is like, well, they ulted us, and he doesn't have any AP.
Closer TPs, and T1 is going to give this up, it looks like.
Yeah, I feel like this is actually good. Like, I feel like Zeus should just stay bot and try to get tier 2.
No, exactly, and that's what he's going to do. You know, even if you TP in with AD Kennen, obviously your ult's not going to do a lot of damage. There still is the utility of it there, but he could have just TP'd in, not as a flank, but just to help fight with it. And none of these turrets are really killable here right now with this Herald. Unless they get a kill here and clean this one up, they are going to commit to this, even though it's at 90% health.
Yeah.
And so they just walk away.
Hey, they got it to half health. And this is good, too. I think Owner, you know, there's not much happening. He's able to join on bot, and there's nothing that Claire can do. First just on.
Yeah. Just getting out macroed super hard. It's a 2-kill game, but it's a 3,000 gold lead for T1. Or rather, Zeus doesn't interrupt him. But Dragon is up in 15. Zeus is getting half of this turret. Can still just go bottom.
Okay, well, Clear is just going to try to get in onto Zeus. There's the Slicing Maelstrom for the stun, and it's enough autos to get the kill. Zeus wins the 1v1. Clear had it. He'd had enough, and he said, I need to pull the trigger. I need to do something.
That maybe he could catch this Kennen in the top lane, maybe put some deep vision up. But Zeus is long gone, miles away.
Yeah. It's really a thinking man's game. That's just going to be even more oppressive. He's going to have a ton of tanky stats as well.
Yeah, because then he just, I mean, he does a decent amount of damage, but he just becomes this utility, engage, DPS, like...
He just gets flashed away from.
Yeah, well, he did get Guma's flash, so maybe the next time...
He approached the wave, so just even more oppressive. They want to take down this mid-tier 1. Looks like Faker just going to tap that once. Big flank right now from Clear.
So, looks like maybe they were going to try to look for the flank to come back, or rather just the engage here on the BNK. They're just going to start Baron instead and say, look, 1 Dragon versus 1 Baron. We already have 3 Dragons. That's going to be what they grab. Nice fadeaway here from Raptor. They're going to TP for this.
I mean, they might be able to get in. The damage, though, is so fast on this one that it's definitely going the way of T1. Let's see what this fight looks like, as a lot of damage goes into Duro, but that's the first reset for the Viego. And look at Clear, he's so far ahead of the team. Down he will go. Keria might pay the price, but it's still the fight for T1, as now you got the TP coming in from the blue team. Faker looking for a bit more, looking for Closer, who does have to flash the sweep. And is even kind of losing the trade, but the big one does get stasis by Faker. Nicely done. Flash comes in as Red wins as well. And he's going to get that kill. T1 finally finding a big fight. And now Henna kind of alone against the Viego, who is quite fed, and he will not win that fight in any universe. Is that just the game, Wolf?
I think that's just the game. I mean, 40 seconds on both AD carries here for BNK. They have Baron. They have a cannon wave. Instead, it looks like they're just going to dot the rise and cross their T's here a little bit. But that was a pretty disastrous, fight on the Baron for BNK, but they were so behind the 8 ball, macro and the killing. And that means big items.
It's a good combo. And, well, they're going to be looking for bot turret and inhibitor, but 5 members, 4 members and a half. Clear's kind of in mid. He's like, oh God, I got to go top, but I can't deal with the cannon. I can't deal with this guy alone. Clear already learned that, and that was before the cannon had 4 items.
Yeah, I feel like Zeus just right-clicked on the turret and then, stretched his hands.
Yeah, and now once again, look at Duro. He's just like, I got to hook something. I'm going to hook a minion. Obviously not on purpose, but just desperation on the side of BNK. Down will go Keria, but the carries here on the side of T1 are now very fed. Zeus getting 1v2'd. He will trade 1 for 1. And Guma is still alive, as well as Owner getting resets in the backline. Faker going to go in, get stunned. Does go into the stasis, but I'm not sure that he gets out. Oh, he does! The sweep into the flash! And that is a beautiful way to end the game. T1 clean. Super clean here in this first one, and will take it down up against BNK to take the lead in the series.
Say what you will about Faker's mechanics here in round 2 on a lot of other champions, but you put the man on the Azir. Let's see how Closer does on the Zeri mid here. Doesn't feel like very much a closer champion, but it is winning against the Corki specifically a lot.
Zeus on a split push pick like the Camille. Here comes Owner invading in onto Duro, but now he's just going to have to flash the wall. Keria just puts down a magical journey kind of into nowhere, but T1 do want to fight this. Just stay straight up 4v4 in the jungle, just fighting it up. There's the flash stun onto 2, and the follow-up comes in. Raptor solo, double knockup from Duro, but it just doesn't matter. The damage is taken away, and T1 will pick up 2 kills in one of the most random fights I've ever seen.
Yeah. Didn't force the cleanse out. Zeus may be in trouble.
Ooh. Okay, well, he is burning a bit, but Equalizer is not going to get the kill. Meanwhile, in mid, there's that level 6. Faker not really concerned. He just wants to get the minions, but he might have to pay for it. The slow comes in, as now looking to turn around. Will try to flash the wall, but Closer's got a flash of his own. Meanwhile, they're diving the bot lane. That's not going very well. And they're going to abandon that as the sleep comes in. Duro actually gets stunned up. It will be a kill onto Duro. Oh, they got the flash out of him, they'll say. Hashtag worth. But now we got a fight in mid once again, as Faker's just being run down here by the Zeri. Has his Valkyrie over the wall. It's a big one, though, to the face of Closer, as it gets extremely close. And now Duro makes his way in, so Faker has to back away.
Bit of a lurk here on said Grubs. Owner was topside.
Yeah, just trying to make a play happen, but Raptor a bit alone. He does have Closer coming up, and the equalizer is good as well. Owner will be taken down. And now Zeus just on the run. This Zeri just getting so much value in this game. Zeus just go back into the pit, but no hook shot and no escape for the top laner of T1. So that's 2 kills now, going back over to BNK.
That was a really decisive call from Raptor to look for that ultimate to start the fight off. Closer can join in very quickly on the Zeri and ends up getting an insanely high-value team fight.
Keria is coming up here, and he does have his ult available. It's just going to hook shot into clear. BNK unsure about what to do now that Keria shows up, but Zeus is going on in, and he's in a bit of trouble as, the ults have stacked, and now we got a TP coming in. The double stun comes in from Keria. A lot of damage coming out of this Rumble, but there's just too many players coming up to the top side for T1 as Faker's TP does get a lot of value, picks up that kill, but meanwhile, Closer's just getting plates in mid.
Ahead, but so is Guma in the bottom lane. So we kind of have like this very weak Camille that's not going to be a side lane threat for a very long time, if ever, but we also have this Jhin that wasn't really an AD carry to begin with, but isn't really going to be relevant in this game for a while.
And yeah, it really just comes down to where do you want that money. And on the side of BNK, they're looking to really eliminate Zeus from the game. And Hannah's just joined clear, pushing the top lane. This should be an inner going down already 13 minutes into the game. So not only did they get all of the plates in top, they got an extra turret before 14 minutes.
I mean, obviously the gold lead is in BNK's favor right now. You know, they end up getting so much money off of those plays topside there, the inner turret stacking up. Guma will be able to get this turret in return, but it's going to be a Herald taken. I look at this game state, though, heavily favored towards BNK because the Fed Rumble versus, you know, Faker's Corki is pretty even, right? You know, even though he got all in and there was some mistakes made, he's not too far behind. And Guma having a ton of money doesn't necessarily matter if they're not able to set up team fights or frontline for him because, yeah, but likewise, we do see Zeus is kind of playing the game up here on the top side, so that's a good look. The Ash Arrow is going to miss. But the Camille's getting money. Rumble's still getting money, but we're getting one player back into the game, sort of, here for T1 versus just furthering that lead for clear. I think T1 are playing this very well, putting the pressure on in mid, pushing Henna out of the lane, you know, forcing him to flash, getting him out, you know, trying to grab him with the arrow, and then, but at least trying to use your power point very well there in the mid lane. Speaking of.
Yeah, Henna came back. He doesn't have flash, and there's a Camille on the enemy team, so he's just going to go down. Doesn't get to play the game, as I said. Raptor also getting ganked in his own jungle by the rest of T1, so a couple of big picks here for the side of T1. There's no objective to really roll this into, but they're trying to really push their lead.
It's getting out macroed again, and now I'm going to have to flip back to, I don't favor this game state for BNK anymore, as Closer's going to try to get something done.
All right, the charm in and the knock up here for Keria. He has to flash away Guma as well, being pressured, and now you've got a Rumble right underneath, but the magical journey is so good, and in goes Closer. And he is going to pick up that kill. Now the response, the stun comes in, the cleanse there, and the damage is just huge from the Lilia and from the Corki. They're chasing him down, and the chase potential of this squad is just so huge with these champions. So T1 able to strike back.
It just takes so long for the turnaround there for BNK to get those kills. They get the kill onto Guma, but Lilia shows up, and the front to back basically begins there. And it's just really easy for them to clean up house.
To their base foundation. Okay, we're the team that always fights, always attacks. And they did that, but they got punished. As now, Sleep might be coming in, and no steal this time, but they are going to catch Faker, who does have a magical journey, and he's going to flash into it and get away! And now the three-man Sleep comes in with the bowling ball. Everybody is caught up in this one, and BNK are caught again as the double kill goes over to Owner.
It's another bait! It's another one, Valdez! Triple. And a triple kill goes to Owner, and ultimate there, the tempered fate, as Faker's just like, all right, come get me, and then he flashes through, and they still index into it. And between the two of them, they just knocked BNK out of this game and potentially out of this series. Nice equalizer attempt to maybe steal that one away. Be a 2-0 because whoever wins game one gets some momentum, but game two looked like that wasn't going to be the case until it was. Raptor finds an angle.
Nice cleanse comes in, and there's the arrow to the face, but the charm's still going to land. These two guys kind of caught out, but once again, Tempered Fate comes through, but Guma, no escape for him. Owner a lot more tanky, and Duro just going to go down to mostly Faker and a bit of damage from the Lilia, as, man, Owner is just so incredibly fed at this point. Everything is burning, and Closer maybe gets hit. Nope, it's just going to be the Camille that does get on in. Raptor has to flash clear. There's just nowhere to go. And you gave him Rumble. You felt good about this one for the side of BNK. You get Rumble for clear, but it's just not enough.
Yeah, suddenly you You blink your eyes, or maybe if you took a restroom break, you know, a few minutes ago, you're washing your hands, you went and got a beer out of the fridge, you come back, you're like, how does Zeus have 5 kills? What happened in this one? How did that happen? How did that transpire? Last I was looking, he was massively behind. The Rumble was getting inner turrets.
Insane amounts that this Lily is able to do. You have so much control when you've got Lily and Bardis. Now we're going to get the root down onto Faker. Another Temper Fate is going to come forward, but there's only so much they can do. A ton of damage goes into Duro as a bit of ticking down does happen from the Lilia. I think the wallets are just that big at this point in time.
2 items, now 3, as I say it. That's a big spike, but it might be a little bit too late. 6,500 gold behind.
Yeah, at least for BNK, it is Chemtech Soul. I mean, there is a bit of healing, a little bit of shielding, but it's not really that big of a deal. Got a lot of ways, you know, even a Camille, obviously, to also pressure the side lane, and this is just one way to do it as well, I suppose. The Mikhails comes out, gets some value. They're going to catch only Duro as the Equalizer gets some good value. Now BNK looking to try to take this fight. Owner has to flash away, and take a look at Zeus just trying to peel for the team as he's going to have to throw down the ultimatum and flash away. Duro just, with the Mikhails first, he's just so squishy. I talked about it earlier on. He just doesn't do much, and now Raptor trying to get close to the pit. Here's the turn as well, and T1, they do find it. Zeus not going to pull the trigger on the ultimatum.
No jungler, no Equalizer, and T1 can just go straight back to the Baron with no fear here. And no FearX in the pit. I just don't see any way they can contest here.
What is he doing?
Area?
He's just following them.
Yeah, he's just keeping an eye on him.
Yeah.
Babysitting.
I mean, eventually...
No backs allowed.
And it's really fast. You know, they have the one Cloud Drake. He's Bard, and he's got Warmogs. And now it's going to find Clear. Mikhails comes down, but Clear is just dead. And eventually, here comes the Sealed Fate as well, or the Tempered Fate. Gonna catch Raptor, and everybody's just being hit in the face by some gigantic wallets on the side of T1. It is a clean ace, and that will do it for game number 2 in the series. T1 gonna go into playoffs with a 2-0 win.
No one really knew what the form was going to look like for T1 in an important match to deny BNK playoffs leading into this week. BNK already had it guaranteed, already had it on lock. I feel like nothing to play for here except the fans for T1. And they did play well for the fans. Gave everybody a show and a very dominant 2-0 showing.
These were some of the best highlights from today's 2024 LCK Summer Split matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.